I think as humans, it's really easy to fall into the trap of comparison. Maybe even more so as a woman, as a mother, as a wife. I think it's just really easy to compare yourself and have one of two really negative emotions follow. The first way that I think comparison can be really harmful is when you compare yourself to people who are maybe way farther down the road than you. Maybe their home is just way more organized, or their kids are just way more obedient, or they just always seem like they're just getting along so well with their spouse, or maybe they just have this incredible relationship with God. And you compare yourself to them, and then you feel like you just don't measure up. You feel like it's just not fair. You feel like maybe they were just dealt an easier set of cards in life than you were. And so you end up feeling really inadequate, maybe insecure. The other way that I think comparison can be really negative, however, is finding people that are beneath you, so to speak, and comparing yourself to them and feeling way better about yourself. You become prideful and arrogant. And I think both of these elements of comparison are really harmful, and yet they're ones that I have fallen into again and again. I want to share several different things that I've learned recently out of these books that I'm going to be referencing that has helped me combat those feelings of comparison and actually use them to my advantage. In a book called Fortitude by Dan Kernshaw, the author talks about the importance of basically crafting your hero, crafting who it is that you could respect, and then trying to embody those characteristics, those skills, whatever it is that you admire about them. And so I took a little time myself as I was reading this book to think about some of the women that I really respect and admire. And these can be people in real life, they're people here on YouTube, they're people that I listen to on podcasts. There's lots of different people. They don't even have to be real people. They can be people out of books or people out of movies. But finding those characteristics that you really admire about those people and then writing them down and just kind of creating the list so that you can keep those characteristics in mind. So this is kind of a form of comparison, so to speak, and yet it's actually finding inspiration out of people that are farther along than you, rather than allowing yourself to then feel less than or insignificant. So I think this is actually really important. Along this line, I want to talk about the tremendous importance, I believe, of becoming the type of person you respect. I'm really not into this whole movement of embracing your flaws and just embrace exactly who you are and your imperfections are beautiful and all those things. I hate that entire idea. I get it to an extent if you're like an extremely insecure person, but as this movement of the entire culture goes that direction, I'm really against it. I don't encourage myself to like myself. I encourage myself to become someone I can respect. And so to become someone that you can respect is a lot more difficult because you're having to seek improving yourself, which I think is majorly important. Find these women that you respect and admire, make the list of what it is about them that you respect and admire, and then seek to become the type of person that you yourself can respect. So for myself, I looked at some different character traits that are sort of general, but I really respect. One of them is getting up early, doing your Bible every day, working out consistently, being disciplined, keeping a clean house, all of those type of things. And then I'm trying to gradually, over time, implement habits to become more of that type of person myself. The next thing that I want to talk about that I also think is super, super important comes from a book by Jordan Peterson called The 12 Rules for Life. And after you've done, as Dan Kernshaw encourages, created this kind of hero type of person you want to seek to become, someone that you admire and respect, then the next thing that I think is super key is to stop comparing yourself to someone 10 years down the road from you and start comparing yourself to who you were yesterday, who you were in the past. This is so encouraging because I know for myself, I naturally am a bit of a disorganized person. I'm not super neat and tidy. I'm not much of a perfectionist. And I can look around my home and feel discouraged. I can compare my home to other women's homes and feel like I just can never get there. I just could never be as orderly or as neat or as minimal as them. And so rather than doing that, I've really tried hard to take those feelings of comparison and to stop and to say, but how was I yesterday? How was I 6 months ago? What about when I first got married over 5 years ago and I would do my dishes like 2 days a week? I would go to bed with my house a total disaster. I would get up at 9 in the morning sometimes. And when I compare myself in those type of ways to who it was that I was yesterday, I actually find tremendous encouragement from that. And so, yes, I find people that I aspire to become more like. Right now I've crafted like my entire YouTube feed to be focused around fitness and eating healthy, because that's what I'm really aspiring to become more like now. And there's girls that I've chosen to follow that have the body I would dream of having in like 5 years, 10 years, and they've had to work at it way longer than me. And I'm using them as inspiration. Yes, I'm using them as maybe someone who has the fitness characteristics and endurance I would like to one day have. But then before I get discouraged and feel like, oh, I'll just never get there, I stop and I compare my fitness journey to how it was maybe 3 weeks ago. Hey, I lost a couple of pounds. Hey, I'm doing intermittent fasting. And that encourages me. So use comparison to your advantage and do it in a healthy way. And I hope that these tools help you do that, because they've really helped me. And I'll talk to you all later. Bye-bye.